Lima. All right, so I started this in the open, but let me reset this. It goes without saying, Jose Lima was one of my favorite guests ever. You know, a lot of times on the program, we talk about best guest. The best guest in the history of this show is Steve Elkington, PGA'er, believe it or not. You know, if you didn't know the show that well, and I were to say to you, the best guy I've ever talked to on this show consistently is a golfer, you'd probably be like, are you kidding, really? A PGA'er? But Elk is not like any other golfer. Elk, also, like Lima, Elk's not like any athlete I know. Elk is the best interview we've ever had on the show in terms of content, humor, intellect, consistency. As many times as he's delivered, anecdotally, he's the best. Way back in the day, it was Mark Grace. There was nobody like Grace. But then Grace just kind of disappeared, at least off of the show's grid. Still one of the best, but not the best. Jose Lima's on that short list. One of the best guests ever for the TV show and this show. And again, I'm not sure I've ever seen a guy quite like him. Jose Lima loved being Jose Lima. So much so that he glossed himself Lima time. And it always was Lima time. Whether he was on the bump, or walked into a room, or picked up the phone, or got in front of a camera, or a mic, it was Lima time. Always. This guy rolled out of bed in the morning, it was Lima time. So when he was killing it back in 1999, that was far and away his best year. He was coming on the show a lot, and he was always great. And I was messing with him one time and said, if you win 20, can I have the game ball? If you win 20. And remember, we're talking about a guy who ultimately won 89 games in his career. That's how good he was that year. 20. He said to me at the time, oh, absolutely, I'll give you the ball. And I said, Lima time, I'm just kidding. I was just messing with you. He said, no, if I pull this off, I'm going to give you the ball. And he did. We went back and forth on it, but he gave me the ball. The 20th win ball from 1999. I still got it and look at it. Still in perfect shape.
Guys, you're still here. And to the guys that don't believe that that's the real baseball that I gave Mr. Jim wrong, it is. I wish I could have this ball in my museum, in my house. But you know what? This is a special man. We took some spring training in 99. And you know what? I'm a man of my word. And it's right here in my hand. I got more karma now for me. And for your information, Lima time is not going away. And you can't get over me. Come on, I'm here. And I'm back, and I'm back for good.
All right, so that was 2004. 1999 was when he gave me the ball. And you heard it. He addressed the other rap that it was not the gamer. A lot of you clones have always said, come on, Rome. Like he was going to give you the ball. He pulled one out of the bag from batting practice and signed it. That's not the ball. But you just heard him. He said that was, in fact, the ball. Now, he did say, and you heard that too, I wish I had that ball in my museum at my home. I would love to have had that ball. And at that point, I said, of course, Jose, you should have that ball. That's your ball. That's the 20th win ball. When I tried to give him back the ball, he wouldn't take it. I've watched that ball for a couple of years. I've taken care of that ball. I think it should be in your museum.
No chance. No chance. You can ask me that a million times, 2 million times. That's your baseball right there. It means a lot to you. You know why? Because I give it to you from my heart. I didn't give it to you just because you wrong me. No, I give it to you because I consider you my friend, even the good days, bad days. And I know in the bad time, you got to say what about me, whatever you have to say. And I understand that because that's the way sport is. If I stink, I stink. But when I'm doing good, that's going to be good days and bad days. But you know what? That's your baseball, and you can have it, man.
It's awesome. I mean, it's so great. You know, he had so much pride in that 21 season. He wanted that badly. He had so much pride in that, and I wanted to give him the ball, and he said, nope. I gave you the ball. I know it means a lot to you, and it does, by the way. I've never, ever kept memorabilia, which is not to say that when I'm given memorabilia, it doesn't mean something to me. Okay, that's not fair. It's not true to say I've never kept memorabilia. When I used to do my tour stops, I would show up in town, and the local team would give me some gear, put my name on it, the guys would sign the gear, and I have the gear, and that meant something. That was personal. I just don't display it prominently. I've never been that guy to take jerseys and frame them. I've never been that guy to say, can you sign this ball, and I'm going to put it in a plastic case or a glass case. I've never been that guy. If you come in my office at home, I don't have jungle memorabilia or sports memorabilia. If you come in my office at home, you'll see just a couple of things displayed. Aside from my family things, pictures of my kids. I've got a couple of pictures of the horses, because that's passion I have. And I've got one autographed picture of Terrell Owens after he did JRIB, because that's funny to me. Really, the only other piece of memorabilia, I think I've got a Mike Piazza bat in the garage. But the only other piece is that Lima ball. And I've got that right in my closet next to my desk. That's the one thing that I always kept for the very reason that he pointed out. It was personal. We had a great relationship. He was great on the show. And he said that he would give me that ball if he got there, and he did. And he's exactly right. That ball always meant a lot to me. And that's the thing. And I love what he said also about, I know what you said about me when things weren't going well, and it's okay. I get it. That's sports. When you're going well, people say nice things, and when you're not, they don't. I get it. See, he did get it. The guy understood it. You take the good with the bad. And no matter how high or how low he got, it was always Lima time. Believe it. He did. That's how Jose Lima could take the ball without that filthy, wicked, overpowering stuff and still come right at guys all the time. Because he was fearless and he loved to compete. And I know not everybody liked his act. But I never bought that rap that he got carried away with it and was showing guys up. I never thought that. I thought guys were way too uptight, way too into the code. He wasn't trying to make anybody look bad. He wasn't trying to show anybody up. He was a showman. He was putting on a show. He was having fun. The guy just had an unbelievable zest for the game and for life, and we lost him way too soon. He was only 37 and suffered a heart attack. So to me, it will always be Lima time, baby. Believe it.
It's Lima time, baby.
And I think even though things did not always go well for him, I bet you go to KC, you go to Los Angeles, you go to Houston, you go to Detroit. If I were to open the phones up right now, I guarantee I would get phone calls from everybody in those towns, and everybody would have a story. Everybody would say, you know what, Rome, I got one for you. Hey, Rome, once when he was here, hey, Rome, I went to the ballpark once with my kid, and there's a million of them. And I'm not saying the guy was perfect. I'm not saying the guy didn't make mistakes. I'm saying the guy was tremendous. Great competitor, great personality, great charisma, and a great guest. And I always loved having him on. I thought it was extremely sad when I saw that note, and still is. Everybody has a Lima story. And the guy loved the game. You know how far? He went to the very bottom before he fought his way back up. He'd go anywhere to pitch to get a shot. When he threw that shutout for the Dodgers, I mean, remember, this is the guy who had to make that team out of spring training and threw a shutout in the playoffs against the Cardinals. I mean, it took stones. And so if you want to talk about Lima time, you go right ahead. Dan Shaughnessy